Good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar. Today we're talking about tendering and how ISOs can be the secret to success. And we all know the challenge that tendering is. So I think any success, anything new or any different way to do it sometimes is key. And sometimes a fresh look at tendering as well is the key thing. So we're going to look at that today in terms of ISO. My name's Flora Neville. I may well have met you in the past doing webinars. And today we're also lucky to have Evelina with us today as well. So I'm just going to let her introduce herself.
Hello, everyone, on this another exciting webinar this afternoon. My name is Evelina. I work for Citation since last nearly 4 years as a senior ISO consultant. And what I do on a day-to-day basis, I implement management systems for the clients. I audit clients against those standards as well. And I have a small team of consultants, which I do manage on a day-to-day basis, in addition to some other duties which I have.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so firstly, just a little bit about us, about ISO certification. ISO standards obviously are a collection of best practices that have been agreed on by industry experts from around the world, helping to make sure the consistency and reliability of organisations that conform with them. And ISO, as we will highlight today, play a real pivotal role in enhancing efficiency, quality, safety, all of these things. So that I will highlight that as we go. We have over 60 consultants nationwide. We've been in the business for over 30 years, and it's about getting it right for you as an individual client. And that's why it's a tailored management system for your business, because we appreciate every business, every industry is very, very different. So that is why that it is round and about your needs. We have over 30,000 management systems being implemented, and we give you complete support. So everything that you need to achieve and also maintain your ISO certification, because it's not just about the achieving of it, it's then maintaining that as well, which in itself can be a bit of a challenge. So we are here to and can assist with that, no problem. What we're talking about today then is just a bit of an overview, some top tips and a bit of guidance, identifying the right contracts, how do you do that, looking at ISO and Cyber Essentials to help you be successful for the win, common mistakes, and we've got time for Q&A as well. And if you want to talk in a bit more detail with us, then we can set that up for you as well, so no problem at all. Please feel free, though, as we are working through today's webinar, though, pop any questions at all in either the Q&A or the attendee chat, and we'll keep an eye on them as we go. And just to make everybody clear as well, we don't send out a copy of slides, but we can get you a copy of today's recording if you want. So at the end, if you do want that, you can just let us know. Somebody will follow up with you and they will arrange for that recording to be sent out to you once it's converted and everything, so that's not a problem. Okay, quick question then before we begin. How confident are you in using ISOs as a secret weapon for successful tendering? So be honest, click on either A, very confident, B, somewhat confident, or C, not confident at all. And there's no judgment here, there's no test, there's no assessment, so be honest. That's probably why you're here, to investigate it a bit further, I would imagine, for a lot of people. For some of you it might just be a check-in, make sure what you're doing's right, whatever. So be honest with us, because it's good to know, and then we can try and tailor it around as much as we can around what your needs are as well, guys. So that's great. Okay, I can see a number of you have responded there. Fantastic. Okay, so there you go, neck and neck. 48.1% not confident at all, 48.1% somewhat confident, and only 3.7% of you are very confident. So that's as I would really expect it to be honest. So we're going to talk through that, and hopefully we can help you with that as the absolute key thing. So I'll hand you over then to Evelina to kick off with some key questions to start with. Thanks, Evelina.
Absolutely. So key questions to begin with. As you can see here, we will draw upon some experience of helping thousands of clients to create standout applications and gain a competitive edge through our certifications and accreditations. So there is a couple of questions which is worth thinking about, including what is your current success rate when it becomes to tender? Have you participated in tendering in the past and how successful it was? When was the last time you have reviewed your tendering strategy? So based on successes or failures, have we reviewed what we can do better next time? What are the areas in your business where you might benefit from external support to free up time to allow yourself to think more strategically? So something to remember if you struggle with tendering, we will remind it later on. We do have a team of specialists who might help you with this process. Have you ever dealt with local authority? What are their requirements? What do they ask for? How can you demonstrate quality assurance? Are you aware of the different types of tenders? So with those questions, we will look a little bit closer. You might find hopefully some answers after our call, and we will give you some details that you can always get in touch with relevant areas, which we will be discussing today throughout this webinar. So a little bit of introduction to tendering. And what we will look into as a part of introduction is, first of all, how to identify the right contract. What is actually expression of interest, pre-qualification questionnaire, and invitation to tender. So let's start with the first one. Let me just move the slide, which is identifying the right contract. This is quite essential to identify the right contract to boost our chances to win some work and gain experience. So the questions which we have to think about here, it's first of all, am I eligible to bid? To establish this area, we have to check, are we meeting the criteria which is listed in the tender document? So it might be provision of details regarding business registration, certification, maybe financial stabilities. You should ensure that you meet any industry-specific requirements or qualifications, and you should verify if there are any restrictions within the tendering documentation, which might be relevant to what you provide, may be relevant to your experience, location, company size, or anything else. The next step, once we know if we are eligible to bid, we need to establish, do we have the right experience? To establish answer for these questions, we should review the scope of work and compare this with what we currently provide, or compare with maybe past projects which we have completed. We should check if we have any types of relevant case studies, maybe references or testimonials, which might help to demonstrate our experience relevant to this tender document. And assess if you can demonstrate expertise through qualifications, team experience, or any other partnership. So this is quite important, that yes, we do have to assess our experience before we start participating in the tender process. Do I have the capacity to meet the tender requirements? That requires evaluation of your workforce, evaluation of resources. In terms of resources, it could be anything. It's a variety of different factors which businesses might look into, from do we have sufficient number of staff? Do we have enough time? Do we have enough finance and infrastructure, tools, equipment? We should ensure as well that we have the financial strength to cover all the initial costs, and consider, can we meet the timelines which are outlined and the quality standards. So this one is very, very important. And then after, so it's something that we are not just thinking short term, but we have to think long term. What will I need to consider if I am successful? So sometimes we have to be prepared obviously to meet contract requirements, additional compliance regulations. We have to plan resource allocation. We have to think about as well ahead of times, do we have enough staff members? Or maybe there are processes that we have to outsource, or maybe there is something that we have to hire, maybe staff, maybe equipment. We have to assess finance as well and operational impact if we win the contract. So long term, where are we with our other customers? Do we have enough time that we can dedicate ourselves to complete successfully the contract which we are bidding, and ensure that we can maintain this quality and service levels, obviously while we are dealing with additional business commitments. When and where do I find suitable contract? There is a lot of places where you can find and have access to the bidding opportunities. There are some links on this page, which you can see literally on the slides. Types of tendering, obviously we might be interacting with public sector, and there are some websites on the government, there are some links on the government websites, things like Contract Finder, which it does have free access to public sector tenders, which I think it's now worth over for those bids. There is a specific value. I think they are mentioning £12,000. For public sectors as well, there is separate link for to look into something relevant to Scotland, Wales, as well as Northern Ireland. Local authorities, they are great resource to look into for some tendering opportunities. They offer lower values contracts. And again, please look into those links which are on this slide. They are very, very helpful. So if you are looking for a tender initially, you can use those sources, or you can find some additional website. Please have a look if it's something that might caught your interest. So let's look into the stages of tendering. The first stage, it's expression of the interest. So basically during this stage, it's a preliminary stage where organizations, they express their interest in bidding. So it's not something binding yet. It's basically used to shortlist potential suppliers before inviting them to the formal bids. There is a variety of documentation which you might be requested to provide at this stage, but the process in a nutshell is that tendering authority announces interest in receiving suppliers' capabilities, and then you should provide relevant information, which might be company details, experience, or anything else, what they would like to look into. And then there is shortlisting, where qualified suppliers are invited to submit tenders or proposals. So this is the initial stage. Again, we should mention here market engagement, which basically these are virtual events where they tell you about the tender and its requirements. So it's quite important stage to find out as much as possible, to engage in this stage as soon as possible, because that's what will give you enough time to maybe putting your policies together or reviewing documentation which you have, and that's what will boost your rating to successfully win some work. Next stage is pre-qualification questionnaire. Pre-qualification questionnaire is the document that you have to fill in at the beginning of the tendering process, and the documents which you might be requested to provide, they would include company information, so it could be business names, registration details, contact details, maybe company structure, are you sole trader, are you limited company? In addition, there might be requirement to provide some kind of financial information, records of insurances, records of experience, capabilities, So possibly information on your past successful projects, any case studies. Think about as well client references or any other relevant qualifications and accreditations. So that one is quite important because shortly we will be looking into and discussing those accreditations. Super important, health and safety compliance. So do we have health and safety policy, for example? Do we have additional health and safety procedures in place? How do we mitigate health and safety risks? There might be requirement in terms of additional policies, environmental policy, what environmental impact we do, what environmental initiatives we have. And again, we have to demonstrate at some stages legal and regulatory compliance, which definitely will include GDPR compliance. So all of those, as you will see when we will be discussing later on, it will be covered through ISO certification and additional records and additional services which we provide as well to support our clients. So what can help you? Definitely ISO. Some of you might know a lot about ISO. Some of you, it might be something new. Maybe you are looking into accreditations. Please don't have any fear. The ISOs, they are not only globally recognized standards, but as well they are to help the clients to improve their compliance, to improve interactions with the customers, environmental performance, health and safety performance, anything relevant to information security. So standards are there to bring the structure within the business, which will basically help you to perform and maintain compliance. So if we look a little bit into 9001, this standard helps organization ensure that you provide consistent products and services, that you continually improve customer satisfaction, that you enhance your operational efficiency. And by following those ISO 9001 requirements, businesses, they can streamline processes, they can reduce number of errors. Obviously, they are then more competitive and they've got advantages with any competitors which you might have. So as you can see, there is a lot of internal and external benefits. So please look into those standards. If there is something, any of those that you don't have, definitely it's there to boost your ratings during tendering process, but as well it's to help you as the business. 14001, this is environmental management system, which helps organizations reduce their environmental impact. It helps to comply with regulations. There's a specific section which enforces the clients to demonstrate awareness of what are the regulations that you should be aware of, which are applicable to your businesses. And again, it's there to improve resource efficiency. By following ISO 14001 requirements, businesses, they can enhance their sustainability. They can improve public image, which is environment. It's very hot topic right now. The businesses, they need to address that they have this environmental awareness in terms of what they provide. So it could be products and services. And if you follow them ISO 14001 guidelines, it will lower your operational costs because you will look closer into your waste management and energy usage. So that's 14001. And here we are, 27001, which is information security. This standard, once implemented, it helps organizations to protect sensitive data. Every business interacts with all sorts of data on day-to-day basis. And this standard helps to minimize security risks. Again, it improves compliance with legal requirements. And the businesses who actually follow 27001 requirements, they safeguard against all sorts of security threats. They ensure that confidentiality of information is in place. And by doing so, it builds the trust with their clients or any other interested parties. And 45001 Health and Safety Management System. This standard helps organizations to reduce workplace risks. It should implement and boost practices that we will reduce number of accidents and incidents. And basically, it provides good practices to create safe working environments. The organizations who are implementing 45001, they improve employees' well-being. They comply with safety regulations. They reduce costs to workplace relevant incidents and accidents. And obviously, by doing all of those activities, it also enhances companies' reputation and demonstrates their commitment to the health and safety. And please remember, the concept of ISOs, it's to continually improve what you do. So that's why those standards, they are so critical. That's why your customers, they want you to be ISO certified, because they know you are compliant. They know that whatever you do, each time you strive to improve your processes, improve your services, improve your products, and that gives them trust, and that gives them confidence that they can build long-term interaction with you. There is a lot of different, obviously, benefits, which I did mention already, but in terms of participating in tendering, this is what you can see. You will have additional points for being ISO accredited company. You will always have some advantage over your competitors. By having ISO in place, you can promote your businesses. So for our clients, we provide them a part of certificates, we provide them logos, and we encourage them to promote their businesses. ISO, it's a great achievement. It's something that business should be proud of. You should be really highlighting the fact if you have any ISOs in place everywhere, because it's something that will boost your rating in tendering process. It will boost the trust among your clients. It will improve as well maybe retention of the staff, because of all the principles which you have in place. They will provide suitable working environments. So always use those accreditations for your marketing initiatives. Long term, by implementing all those processes and procedures, it will be driving some cost savings along the periods of time, because you are striving towards improvements. You want to rectify non-conformities in the way that your corrective actions are effective enough that you will not have the same issues happening again. And by doing so, you will improve your efficiency and productivity long term. So there is a lot of benefits. The benefits are internal, the benefits are external. If you genuinely want to boost your business, improve your processes, implement some good procedures, and create safe and sound working environment, definitely ISO, it's the right choice. And then we've got Cyber Essentials. As you can see, by having Cyber Essentials, which is basically practical check, how prepared you are for all sorts of cyber threats. By having this certification, it prevents 80% of common cyber attacks. It keeps your businesses compliant with mandates, including GDPR regulations. And again, gain a thorough understanding of your risk levels. So when we think about security of information, how do we operate? What types of information do we have? I think it's essential to make sure everything is safe and sound, because implications of not meeting those requirements, they might be really, really high. So as you can see, the Cyber Essentials certification, it's a widely recognized government-backed certificate created for all organizations of any size, any sector. It thus demonstrates that organizations have the appropriate security and defenses in place. against common cyber attacks and data breaches, works by evaluating the company's technology defenses to determine the current weaknesses and risk levels. And once mitigated, the organization will be awarded the Cyber Essentials certificate. Cyber Essentials, it's commonly used for tenders. It's very often seen questions around Cyber Essentials in both public and private sectors, in mandatory for all Ministry of Defense contract bids. So please have this all in mind when you are preparing for bidding to boost your rating. Definitely ISOs and Cyber Essential will help you to succeed. And then we've got yet another stage, invitation to the tendering. It happens if your company gets shortlisted by following PQQ stage. The buyer then will produce formal document which will outline the scope of the project to further assess what you can potentially offer within the contract. Information which might be included in invitation to tender, it might contain projects overview, scope of work, all sorts of technical specifications, delivery timelines, performance expectations, evaluations criteria, prices, quality, experience, compliance requirements, terms and conditions, submission requirements, deadlines for submissions, and many, many more. So that's why it is important to understand the tendering process so that we can reply in the way that we can actually be competitive with the others. And how to do it? We have to stand out somehow. We have to outline our commitment. We have to offer something different that maybe our competitors offer. So it's, again, this market research, it's innovation, it's something that many businesses is looking into right now. Do you know how your pricing benchmark against your competitors? So this is all that we should really have awareness of. We have to fully understand what are the requirements of invitation to tender. So please always read tender document carefully, understand the buyer's needs, address every requirement very clearly and concisely. Follow the instructions. If there are instructions relevant to formatting, deadlines, supporting documents, don't miss anything out. As much as you can, demonstrate your experience and expertise and any kind of case studies that you might have on similar projects which you have successfully completed. Maybe you've got some client testimonials or references. Maybe you've got those additional accreditations, certifications, qualifications. This is all super important. And if you really want to stand out, always have a broad picture. Think about it's not just about the price, what value we can offer beyond the price. So you might emphasize on quality, on innovation, on efficiency, on some long-term cost savings or any other benefits. That's how you have to promote yourself and demonstrate that you are confident that you can provide the service, but what makes you better than anyone else? Maybe you've got some kind of unique selling methods. Maybe you've got eco-friendly solutions. Maybe you've got advanced technology. So all of those, they should be really mentioned because it boosts your rating when you are bidding for work. And completing your bid. So when you are completing your bid, you need to ensure that all your documentation is accurate, that your documentation is logical, that every information which you add to the pack, it's transparent enough that will be easy to understand. So obviously always use professional language without any jargon, but something that will be clear and easy to understand as well for others. Do a proper research. It should be really thorough thorough check on what are you submitting. And it should be really engaging. So it should be just copy paste from the previous tender, especially if your tender previously maybe wasn't that successful. Something maybe to look into. If you're on your own, always ask someone to support, maybe to double check, maybe to read it through. Maybe you need some external support, which Citation can provide, especially if you are new to bidding. If you don't have that much exposure, if you don't have that much experience, it will be something that you will learn out of it. So have no fear. Don't worry if this first bid was not as you wished for, because it's, again, learning curve. So we always have to start somewhere. If we don't start, we will not achieve our goal long term. So I always say we learn as we go, but better preparation we have, more chances we have to actually complete those bids successfully. So please always check, double check, triple check. If you have to, ask someone to read those through. Check exactly if you have met all the requirements, if you have provided all the documentation, if you are following the format which was requested for this bid. This is all important. Everything matters, because that's how you will be seen. You want to be seen as someone professional, experienced, somebody that provides something above and beyond that your competitors might not. And there it is. We've got some commonly used terms which you might come across. So this is the definitions of those. So for example, we might come across dynamic purchasing, any qualified provider, selection questionnaire, request for proposals, or request for quotation. So nothing to be scared of. It's just different phrasing of the terms. The main thing is to check and again check and triple check all the documentations which we have. Do we understand everything? If we don't understand, always seek advice, always seek support, because that's how we are increasing our chances in successful tendering. And there is some example of the tender. So we've got like a snapshot of one of the documents. There are some highlighted areas. So as you can see, there is a list of tender requirements. So when you are preparing for those requirements, it's important to read everything carefully. Don't do it in rush. Take some time. If you prepare your documents, ask someone to double check if you have actually added all those documentation. So highlighted in yellow, there is an example of health and safety policy if your company has more than 5 employees, examples of method statements, examples of risk assessments, any evidence for additional accreditations that you might have. What quality assurance systems do you have? So as you can see, ISOs, they answer a lot of questions throughout the tendering. In some tendering, they might just request you, please send me a certificate. Sometimes they might ask, please send me the additional documents which might be relevant to your certification. But by achieving ISO Cyber Essentials, you will have all of those in place. You will not be stressed out, oh, what have I missed? Oh, I need to create something. So that's why it is important to carefully read all the documentations and prepare yourself the best you can. And now I will give steering wheel to my lovely colleague who will talk you through the common mistakes which might happen during this process.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And thank you as ever. Really fantastic information, and really great when you break it down like that. There is a lot to it, as we know, and that's where, you know, there are unfortunately common mistakes like anything, and it's avoiding them. You know, it's better knowing about them and avoiding them if you can, obviously. The scattergun approach, the scattergun approach is very much about, you know, when you just, you know, you look at it, try and go for everything you've seen as the bottom line. So it's making sure that you're targeting, you're really thinking about, so Evelina said it earlier about identifying the right contract. So looking at what is right for you, what is workable for you, what you can, you know, give it its best as well. So avoiding just everything and anything that might be an option for you. And I know sometimes it's pretty tempting because you see maybe that you've maybe seen that the value on a contract or something like that can be the factor for a lot of people to look at. But really just looking at what is going to work for your business is the absolute key thing. So it's got to be what is right for you is the obviously the important part there. Also, then the not having no wow factor. You need to stand out in tenders. Like Alwina said, you need to stand out in tenders, particularly in the current market. So you do need to over-deliver in categories. And, often we will see the room for improvement in maybe quality, environment, equality and health and safety sections. So making sure you have that wow factor is the key thing. Something that's a little bit different, a little bit extra, makes you stand out from the crowd. Most procurement teams will ask for evidence, but will also want claims that your credentials are verified. So that is where, we're talking ISO, Cyber Essentials, etc. comes in there. And what I would also say as well, making sure that you meet all the criteria. That seems like a really obvious thing, but, if they're asking for ISO 9001, 20 companies bid and 2 don't have it, those 2 will be the first ones to be eliminated. So it's making sure that, it is right for you is the key thing, and getting that wow factor and standing out. Missing the big picture, third one on there. So it is important to go beyond the tender and look at the bigger picture. Consider how the contract will interact with other relevant services. Read the contracting authority's website. Understand what their key drivers are. What, is their culture like? All that kind of thing is important. And then reference the organisation's overall aims in your responses. You do need to spell it out here, guys. You need to make sure that they are absolutely clear on why you are the right person for the job is the key thing. So make sure you're highlighting that. Make sure you're making that clear why you are best and why you stand out. And not just the stating that the how you stand out, but the why you stand out, how you are different from the rest as well. And then that is the going above and beyond. On the right, they were talking about a document library. It does save you time. Again, Eloina's touched on this throughout. Make sure you have all that documentation that you're going to need there ready to go. So it's in, the best state it can be, the best quality, because you want to be really proud of what you're submitting here. You're only getting one chance. You don't get the same chance again in a couple of months' time, because a lot of time once contracts are in place or tenders are, finalised, all the rest of it, it can be years before you get the chance to go back to something. So make sure you've got that right, the documentation is right. It's also that time factor as well. It absolutely will save you a lot of time if you've got it ready there, ready to go as and when you need it. And that can be, whether it's insurance certification, your any of your policies, financial figures, all that kind of thing. And our clients pull a lot of that information from Atlas, because that's where Atlas holds a lot of that. So that can just be pulled through as and when you need it. So there's a huge advantage there if you work with the Atlas system. Testimonials and client lists as well. Keep these, again, keep them up to date. Make sure they're as relevant as they can be, and catalogue them in a way that is easy to come, whether that's via sector, company size, whatever. Just so you make sure you have the best testimonials, the best bits there that you can pull out and use when you need them. So it's just avoid the common mistakes that other people have made as much as you possibly can, and think about the other ways to make your life a whole lot easier when you're tendering. And that's where your document library and things like that comes into it. So making it as easy as you possibly can do is the key thing. Okay. So, benefits of a platform. Now, you've heard me just mention Atlas there. And some of you, I don't doubt, because we've got some clients on here today, some of you, I don't doubt, will have used Atlas or be using Atlas currently. I don't doubt that you'll if you're using it, you'll use it quite a lot. The key thing is making sure that you've got something there to help you, you need support to do a tender to make it the best it can be, to make it right. And that's where Atlas can come in. And if anybody wants a demo of this, let us know, because we're happy to pick that up with you and let you see that. So multi-site management. Again, this is about the consistency of your approach, the processes, what you can provide, all this. So again, it's about you demonstrating how good you are, what you've got in place. That's custom and practice, and you can absolutely deliver on what you say you're going to deliver. Safety and security, give the right people access to the right level of data. That is, Atlas has various levels, and you can give as much access and as you want to different people within the organisation, different levels, all the rest of it. So again, it's important from a confidentiality, GDPR, all these kind of things. But again, you can then, put the level where it needs to be. And certified training, we absolutely know the key thing about training, that the importance of it. And it's managing that and evidence of completion. With the best will in the world, you can do all the training you want, but if you can't show and demonstrate that you've done that training, it doesn't really stand up, and that's the key thing. So you need to be able to manage it, to keep on top of it, make sure people are up to date with all their training, and, everything is in place as it should be. The key thing about Atlas is there's some key points. Efficiency. Everything's in one place. It makes it easy to achieve and maintain your ISO certification. So, and it's all there, as and when you need it. User friendly. It's a very simple and I would say pretty intuitive navigation system, or it has in place, and it gives you, the system you need and empowers you to easily maintain your management systems from, be it a desktop, laptop, mobile device. It's user-friendly, and the tools on it are user-friendly and templates as well, meaning that your audit trail is consistent and all your legal information is consistently up to date as well. So compliance, in turn, just, falls into place. That practical task management as well, having the power to actually view, assign, acknowledge, track tasks. And it gives you also the peace of mind as well as a business owner, as a manager, that things are on track. And, there's alerts and reminders set up that delivered direct to you when something is about to come up, or, training needs to be done, or this needs to be completed, or we need to review this or whatever. So as opposed to you constantly worrying, are we on top of this, are we this? We've all been there. I'm a business owner myself, and you think, when did we last do that? Are we up to date with that? It does that for you, and that's the absolute key thing. In terms of the said there about the training, so the interactive e-learning, it really tackles the skills gap with you and you're delivering regularly updated, CPD certified and ROSPA approved e-learning modules made for your sector and your employees' development needs. So that in itself is completely invaluable, because that is what you need to be delivering. It's what you want to be delivering, again, just knowing that you're on top of that and it's certified and everything is the key thing. Because again, training is one of these things that lots of people do training, loads of people out there do training, but is it certified training, and is it adequate? Is it what it needs to be? Because if you've got training that's not certified and really isn't good enough, it comes back on you, the employer, not the person who you engaged. It's up to you to check that who you engage with is the right person to deliver that. So again, it's a bit of responsibility back on you. So again, just making sure, or having that, confidence in what you're providing is really key. You having instant insights as well with Atlas, I think, is one of the key things. Is at any moment you get an overview, or you've got a summary dashboard, what tasks are outstanding, what's happening, and all the rest of it. So, and at any point you can go and drill down into that further as and when you want, and that can be anywhere, because you can, as I say, you can do it from your mobile or whatever you want to do it. Safe and secure as well, big thing nowadays. Obviously, Atlas provides different user levels, as I said, and all the data is stored in the cloud and protected with encryption technology for the ultimate security as well. So, again, the confidence. and being able to demonstrate that, because again, security and all the rest of it is such a big thing, and data and everything as well, that you need to be able to demonstrate that what your processes and everything aren't going to cause any problems for MD also. So that's the key thing. Okay, so other considerations then. A lot of what Evelina's already touched on, but have you double and triple checked the quality of your submission? And again, we go on about that, but genuinely it's making sure that it's right, because there's nothing, screams badly when it's just wrong, or there's some error, or something pretty obvious, but the problem is you've missed it. So yeah, absolutely getting your submission checked and checked again before that goes in. You may lose, hopefully you won't, but the key thing is, if you do lose, ask why. Ask what was the basis on which you lose. Get feedback, find out why you didn't win. Is it something you can improve on? Then work on it for next time so you're not caught out again. Important to bear in mind as well that a win ratio of about 1 in 3 would be considered good. But don't be disheartened if you don't win them all, or you're not quite at that stat as well. And you can also remember, you can challenge a procurement process if you think it was flawed or unfair. And negotiation sometimes comes into it. It's unlikely there'll be an opportunity for significant negotiation, particularly on overall price. And some tenders might not offer any scope for negotiation at all. If anything is negotiated, it's probably most likely to be aspects like contract wording and pricing from the perspective of additional items is normally when you would see that. Make sure you've got the resources, capacity and experience to deliver the tender. We touched on that one earlier. People think, oh, that sounds like that would be great. Yeah, the value in that would be great. But the reality is, can I deliver this effectively? And make sure that, you've got the resource in place, or you can withstand that longer term resource as well, because it might be you're taking on more team, or, hiring facilities or equipment or whatever it might be. But again, just making sure that whatever is there is absolutely what it needs to be, and you can follow that through as well. Do you need to consider outsourcing, using the external professionals? Certainly something worth thinking about, because as a business owner, we know and you've got lots of hats to wear. So actually, finding the time to really put the time and effort into some of these things is tricky. It absolutely does. You've got a business to run out with it and all the rest of it. You're not just focusing on tendering. So that's where, your bid writing and that kind of thing, and ourselves to help you get it right. By outsourcing that, it can actually, be so much more cost effective, and just takes the whole stress and all the rest of it out of it as well. And that's the key thing. Make sure you have reviewed your HR documentation, your contracts, handbooks, policies. Make sure they're up to date. Again, I don't doubt you'll have all that stuff in place, but is it up to date? When was it last reviewed? Because all too often we go and speak to people about it, and it's like, oh, well, yeah, actually, that doesn't apply now, or it's not how we work now, or whatever else. So again, make sure that what you've got in place is right. And do you have a full set of up-to-date and compliant health and safety policies and procedures, including a business continuity plan? Again, I would ask you just to have a wee review of that. I'm sure you do have a health and safety policy in place. Is it sufficient? Is it up to date? And is it compliant given changes in the last few years? When did you last review it? Because really, all of these kind of things should be reviewed annually as a minimum, And do you have a business continuity plan? If not, then it's certainly something worth looking at. Also, the key thing is to make sure that the continuity plan is, being updated and reviewed and all the rest of it as well. Tendering and employee engagement. it's key, and engagement is across everything nowadays. But engaging your team is the key thing. You know, you need them. Your team are the biggest asset you've got. Without them, you couldn't run the business. You wouldn't be tendering, and you're reliant on them to deliver what you have said you are going to deliver. So you need them. That's why the training of your team and development of your team is key. Make sure they do have the right skills, the right knowledge for what they are doing. What other training and development could you offer your employees? Ask them what they would like as well, because you may think you know what they would like, but engage with them. That's the key thing. People want to have a voice. People don't want to just feel like they're just turning up, doing a job and leaving. They want to feel part of something. They want to feel like they've got a voice. They want to feel involved in something. People are not just there for money. People want to enjoy what they do and be involved in what they do. And that's why things like regular performance reviews, work reviews, whatever you want to call them, are key as well. Make sure they are there. So again, you're giving your team the voice. When did you last actually ask your team about how their job was, how the role is, all that kind of thing? Again, it's amazing what you can actually learn about your team by doing that. So I'd certainly strongly recommend doing that as well. Okay, so I think that's kind of the most of what we're going to cover. If you've got some questions, then that's absolutely fine. Quick question though for you. Following today's webinar then, how confident are you in using ISO's as a secret weapon for successful tendering then? So just click on A, B or C there, guys. Either A, very confident, B, somewhat confident, or C, B, somewhat confident, or C, not confident at all. Gosh, you can tell it's Friday afternoon. I'm getting tongue-tied. Pop whatever one on there as well. Also, if you do have questions, please don't hesitate to pop them into the chat there. Happy to pick them up. Equally though, if you go off from today and think, oh, I didn't ask that, I should have asked that, then that's absolutely fine as well. Just get in touch with us. We're more than happy to pick that up with you, no problem at all. Okay, so great. We've moved to more to very confident, so I'm delighted to hear that. There we go, Evelina. You've done a fabulous job.
Absolutely, amazing results.
Definitely. And I'm just going to pass back to you now, just to talk a wee bit more about why Citation ISO.
Absolutely, and I was just thinking about this question literally right now, and I was thinking, what should I say this time? On every webinar, this question comes up: why Citation ISO certification? And in all fairness, what I can say, why us? Because we want our clients to succeed, and I think this is the most important element. So we can say, oh, we are the best, we are supportive, we are this or that, everything, yes, but the most important thing of interaction with Citation ISO certification is that we want our clients to succeed. We implement management system for them because we want them to feel the power of having ISO in place. We educate clients on day-to-day basis through audits, through consultancies. When we speak to them, I always say, don't treat ISO as static set of documentation, some SWOT analysis, which is the same since last 5 years. Make the system bespoke to you. When do you really sit down and really thoroughly thought about what are our risks as a business, from quality, environmental, health and safety, security, security of information perspective, even about the staff members, which Flora was talking about. How much do we know what our employees expect? What are their desires to develop their skills and competences? What is our interaction with them? So with ISO implementation, with cybersecurities, with any other service which we provide, we support the clients and we want them to succeed. So we've got experts which are providing this support. We create management systems which are bespoke, and we always promote this bespoke approach to the clients. These are their management system, and they should make the most of them. This is what boosts their prestige on the market. This is what helps them to grow. This is what helps them to retain staff, to keep happy staff as well. Like Flora was saying, we just don't come to work just to be paid. We don't want to be a payroll number. I want to be recognized for my skills. I want to develop my skills all the time. And I'm learning even from the clients which I meet on day-to-day basis. Most of all, we keep things simple. So we don't say that management systems are overcomplicated. It's going to be very difficult road. No, it's not. It's actually quite simple. As long as we see disengagement and encouragement to have management system, it's genuinely simple. Whenever we meet the clients and they are scared of ISO, for example, a little bit, I always ask them, which bit are you scared of? Because in most of the cases, the fear is, oh, we might not be compliant. Well, this is why you should have ISO in place. If you have any health and safety fears that you might not be quite there and you think, oh, I'm not sure ISO, this is what is going to help you. This is what will keep your business compliant. Have no fear, go for it, because it's something what will genuinely help you and protect you and your employees long term. It's very straightforward process when it comes to implementation of a management system. We do provide consultancy. Everything is clear and transparent. We produce set of documentation, which is bespoke to the clients, which is then long-term your management system. You can do any changes, any amendments to your management system. It must be something that will work for you. And a part of ISO, we are part of something bigger. So we provide HR services, where we've got employment law expert. We've got 24/7 HR advice line. So when you've got something urgent, something happened, you don't know what to do at this moment of time, you just pick up the call and speak to one of our advisors who will give you a good advice. You can connect through all sorts of SMAS, WorkSafe, and we connect to health and safety services as well, where we do on-site health and safety inspections, and many more. What actually we do for the clients, we do a part of just checks. We can basically do, for example, if your infrastructure is not suitable, we can do PAT testing, we can do fire risk assessments, we can test your fire extinguishers. So it's a lot of services which we provide. The most relevant to today's meeting, it is ISO services, cybersecurity, that this is something that would give you peace of mind. And in terms of tendering, we've got those experts in the house that if you need their support, feel free to reach out. There will be always someone who will help you. Flora explained really in-depth Atlas. And actually, I am using Atlas every day. I'm using Atlas for my team. So I've got some HR accesses throughout. I use it for ISO purposes. I use it for my own management of my holidays and everything else. And I can tell you, Atlas is simple. Atlas, you can't go wrong with Atlas. You can't damage anything in Atlas. It's all about being nosy and going into all functions and just discovering even more exciting features, things like ISO compliant templates, which you might use towards preparation for the audits or for any kind of internal improvements. We've got worked out examples of those documents. We've got short videos, which you might look into. We've got explanation documents. What is, for example, management review? What are internal audits? So there is really a lot of support in Atlas itself. It's very simple portal, and it's portal which is continually looked after. So we've got experts, again, we've got developers who are looking after this platform on day-to-day basis. We've got little feedback button where clients are sending their hints and requests and suggestions. They are looked into on day-to-day basis. So as you can see, again, it's not something static. Same like ISO should not be a static process. It's something that is under continuous development, something that we continually improve. So that's why it's actually quite good. And you can keep all sorts of documentation in Atlas. Flora was saying, because this platform is actually combining a lot of different services, you can have it all in one place. How easy it is. You can have HR, you can have health and safety, you can have ISO, you can have access to e-learning, which is set of certified courses, which are monitored through Atlas platform, that if something expires, that something is due renewal. So everything is there. It's really a lot of things that helps businesses to thrive. It helps to maintain compliance. It helps to go out of some maybe difficult situations if they didn't have those services before. So, be confident. If you want to have additional ISOs, there is generally nothing to be scared of. It's not something in addition, it's something that helps. And like I was saying, ISO is there to help clients to succeed. We want everyone to succeed. We want to see thriving businesses, happy clients, people who are sometimes giving me feedback how ISOs or any other services actually did help them. And this is what makes our days, to see this positive feedback. Therefore, I wouldn't recommend something what I would not use myself. So I am a real life example of using all of those, and they are genuinely really, really good. And now we've got time for some questions. I don't know if Flora have received anything. So I'll leave the slides. For now, there might be something. That somebody asked, so we will wait a couple of minutes. Maybe something will come through the chat box or through anywhere else. And I will try to answer them, even if there will be some tricky questions. And we've got some thumbs up. Brilliant. Oh, thank you so much. I hope it wasn't that bad. At the end of the day, I'm always super excited to see clients joining those sessions. I hope you did benefit from those. So I will wait for some questions. And in between, there is again some sort of little quiz if you would like to receive any more information about those standards, which we have, which we did look into today, which is quality, environment, security of information, and health and safety. There is a lot of different standards which we offer as well. There is a brand new AI standard, which might got your interest. There is standard relevant to psychological health, which is 45003. So there's a lot of different exciting standards. They don't have to be limited to those. So again, if it's something that you want to be ahead of a game and be better than your competitors, the ISO genuinely is the answer.
Sorry, Evelina, can you hear me now okay?
Yeah.
It disappeared. I don't know what happened. I went a big blank for a minute. So the joys of technology. Okay. Yep, guys, if you just click on that, like Eloina said, and then we can pick up with you if there is further information that you would like. Eloina, I can see there's just a question come in there as well, saying how long does it take to implement for the care industry?
To implement ISO standard?
Yeah, I think that's
well, it's not really long. Being honest, if the client is very interactive, it could be really within, I would say, I think it was saying around one of the previous slides, within 45 days. I would say around 6 weeks. This is the on average timing. Some clients, they do manage a little bit earlier than that. Some of them, they need a little bit more time. But generally speaking, if you want to achieve accreditation in this time frame, yes, you will. So that's why I was saying it's very, very quick process. It's not time consuming. It's bespoke, so it's tailored to the organizations, to their sizes, to their complexity, and that's why this process is really effective.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Hopefully that is the information that you need. Angela, no problem. If you do want further information though, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, guys. More than happy to have a chat or, you know, talk you through it. For any of you, that's not a problem. Good. I'm glad it's been worthwhile. Thank you for all the thank yous. Brilliant. Okay, thanks, guys.
Lovely. And the thumbs up, and I could see one heart, so thank you so much.
Brilliant. Yeah, and let's have a chat if MD wants to. Then absolutely no problem at all. If there is a time in the day, actually, Lilina, would that be the best thing? If there's a time in the day next week that works best for people, just get them to pop it in the chat, and somebody will give them a call.
Yes, if I will have some details, absolutely. We will arrange something by all means in some kind of convenience for everyone. Absolutely, yes.
Great. That's a problem. Great. If there's a particular day next week that works for you for us to reach out to you, then that's, or if you want to have a further chat or find out more information, then by all means, absolutely let us know. We can pick that up, no problem whatsoever. Okay. Anything else from yourself, Eloina? Any other questions come to you or anything?
No, that's all. I hope everyone's enjoyed the session. Maybe there was something that helped you to understand the tender process. Definitely it's something that we can help you with. Same with ISO. I hope it did increase your knowledge a little bit. It's not really difficult process. It's quite bespoke to the clients. It's simple, it's effective, and it helped so many organizations which I meet on day-to-day basis. So I definitely encourage to everyone. Each standard, it's not like standalone journey. It's all standards, they are aligned with each other. So there are shared requirements between those standards. So it's not like we are starting brand new journey with brand new sets of everything. We can keep those systems as well. Please remember, if you would like to have 2 standards at once or 3 standards, absolutely fine. Then you would have basically integrated management system, which can again save you time and make sure that actually you have those additional standards even quicker than if you would go as a standalone approaches. But feel free to pick whichever approach is best for you. And who knows, maybe I will see you during consultancies and then long-term auditing, and I will have some fantastic stories about successful tendering and how ISO transform your businesses.
Amazing. And thanks, as always, Eloina. You always make it sound so good. So thank you very much again.
Thank you so much, and I wish everyone an amazing weekend.
Absolutely. I know. I can't believe it's Friday afternoon already. There we go.
Oh,
so Mark there saying we set a 6-month timeline for 9001 and 14,001, and we manage both in 3. Fantastic, Mark. That's amazing. Great. And that's it. You know, it's all doable. It's all doable.
Absolutely. And Mark is still here sharing this amazing experience with us. So as we can see, we've got evidence all over the place. So this is really great. And thank you for sharing this with us.
Fantastic. Okay, I think we'll bring it to a close now. Have a good weekend. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, guys.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.